been here throughout this run by the Warriors as well. And Brian, again, the storyline, these injuries. We just saw the tweet from Woj and Ramona. What are you hearing about Klay?
Well, I've been told that the Warriors have prepared 2 game plans and 2 starting lineups, one with Klay Thompson, one without. Look for Alfonso McKinney to be the possible starting forward if Klay doesn't play. He is going to come out here and warm up in a short time, and it's ultimately going to be up to the training staff to make the decision. But both teams, the Raptors also have a double game plan in preparation for clamping down on Steph Curry, shoveling the ball and forcing it to the guy who killed them on the open shot, Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green. Yep. Both teams going to be watching both teams with Plan A and Plan B. And you were saying yesterday that the training staff has been working miracles round the clock for everybody, but in particular, Klay Thompson. Yeah, and they're going to have to do extra work to get Iguodala ready to play, and extra work to do DeMarcus Cousins ready to play. And an important factor here, Sage, this is the only time in this series where there is only 1 day off in between games. So that is a factor about worrying about recovery for Klay Thompson. Not just thinking about tonight, but thinking about Friday as well. Friday, game 4, of course. So here's the thing. You'd think the Raptors would be maybe even licking their chops with all the Warriors' injuries, but they've got a few issues of their own to deal with. And you say there's 2 guys in particular who really need to step up for Toronto. Right. Klay is a huge factor here. But Kyle Lowry only shooting 30% in this series. He has got to play better. That was with the defensive guy as head coach. The guy who's going to be a big part of this year, Donald will have an offensive guy, Adam Gase, as head coach, and perhaps of the Golden State shots. His activity is so important because all his action frees up other teammates on that play. He will have Le'Veon Bell in his backfield. Marcus All, former defensive player of the year, got to slow him down, got to play better. Keep these teams strength on strength. All-time great defensive big against one of the talk the Browns or Jets into being good. They're going to have to prove it. If somebody on the Warriors, not so happy anniversary Paul Pierce on this day 11 years ago in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And you think about what DeMarcus did from Game 1 to Game 2. Really didn't score Game 1, 8 minutes to the double-double in his first NBA Finals game ever. Boogie Cousins ready for this moment. You talk about pivotal, by the way, Game 3. The winner of Game 3 goes on to win the NBA Finals. He went on to win Finals MVP as the Celtics beat the Lakers. But every time someone down a tip-off of Game 3. Brian Windhorst, thank you, sir, for that one. In the meantime, still much more to come here. Rocket Mortgage presented by Quicken Loans once again. As you take a look here, the talk over the last 2 days has been all about that box-and-one defense that the Raptors used on Steph in Game 2. How much will we see it tonight? Doris Berg tells us just that when we come back, Kevin.
Sage, the other big story today, Odell speaks. Browns mandatory minicamp continuing. All eyes on the Baker-Odell connection this afternoon. Beckham was in a battle with up-and-coming star Denzel Ward. One of the Odell highlights featured a one-handed grab from number 13. And he also talked to the media for the very first time this week. Listen up.
This team is really coming together, but the good part about it is it's only June, beginning of June. Still got a lot of time. You still got a whole training camp to go through. And I feel like this team's really going to come together. But I'm beyond excited about an opportunity I have to just start over. A new team. Obviously, the goal is always going to be the same. It's to hang banners. That's what you play this game for. But we know we got a lot of expectations. We know we got a lot of work to do. And I think we'll get there. This game's about winning. This game's, I know some of us get stuck up on numbers, but this game's about winning. I'd much rather be in the playoffs than go for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, because to me, I'm supposed to do that anyway. So being at home and having to end the season with that is never going to be good enough for me. I'm ready to get back to the playoffs and show what I can do. Everybody knows their body. I know my body better than anybody else. So I know what it takes to get me in top physical condition, mental, all of those things. So this isn't my first rodeo. It's not my first go-around. I just know what it takes to get there.
For more on the Browns, Josina Anderson is with us and joins us now from Ohio. Josina, you have covered Beckham for years. What stood out from what he said today?
Well, Kevin, listen, it's been 85 days since Odell's been traded from the Giants to Cleveland now, and I can tell by listening to him that he has fully embraced his transition to Cleveland mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And what stood out to me is when he said, I just feel like a new kid again, just anxious to, sit by a new teammate at lunch and get to know them. And also him using the phrase that it's a chance for him to start over, and how that made him recall listening to Chris Carter at the Rookie Symposium and how he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him when he got cut by by the Eagles and how that served as a motivator. And so now Odell really understands that the Giants did what was best for them, and he's in the best place. Being on cloud nine, he said, catching balls from Baker Mayfield, adjusting to his speed, or sitting beside Jarvis Landry in a meeting, a childhood friend, and just patting him to the point where I have to say, I love you. That's what he said. So they've been talking about being great and building their legacy and taking Cleveland back to the postseason. And lastly, Odell said, doing that is better than having a 1,200 or 1,300-yard season any day of the week. Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, and they got training camp, as he mentioned, but reminding you, the Browns have mandatory minicamp, and it continues tomorrow as well from Ohio. Josina, thank you so much. Expectations are high as they've been in Cleveland since returning to the league right before the start of the century. They have 16-1 title odds and an over-under win total of 9, both the team's highest since 1995, their last season before a 3-season absence from the league. Their coach that season, Bill Belichick, back in 1995. See?
More football to come as Dwayne Haskins fights for the starting job at Redskins camp. How one teammate's absence could have a major impact on the rookie season for the former Ohio State quarterback. Plus, containing Kawhi, never easy. Doris Burke breaks down the Warriors' creative approach to defending Kawhi in the first 2 games of this series. SportsCenter, live from Oakland, California, continues here again. Oracle, what a place, what a home this has been for the Warriors for 47 years. This is a different field tonight with all these injuries. Can they pull out a Game 3 win? We continue to preview for you live on SportsCenter.